Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and others. Welcome back to the Nipaa TV show. I'm your host, Nipaa TV. That's me. And we're going to be castating, castmating, castating? Sure. Some StarCraft Brood War. And before we get into that, I am going to go ahead and just update the thumbnail here. Just right quick. Shouldn't take too long, and then we'll get right into the first game. So, for those of you that are not familiar, this, gosh, what am I looking for? Oh yeah, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. Save. And then, yep, get rid of that. And, what am I looking for? Oh, the live control room. Is this where we get the thingamabobber? Is this where we get the link and stuff? I think it is. Stream URL. There we go. Bam. Bam. Oops. Oops. That didn't even work, did it? Oh my god. What the heck, man? Hold on. That's so bizarre. So strange. Does it have a share? Here we go. Shareable link. Here we go. There we go. Okay, got the shareable link going, and we're set. So let's go into the first game. So the first game is going to be a ZVZ on Fighting Spear versus ZXC and Drone. And let's get to it. Oh yeah, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was explaining already. So yeah, for those of you that are not familiar with this series that I'm making, it is just a normal casting series. So just me broadcasting and just commentating to players on Brood War, and just commentating 5 games to be exact. That is the number that I wanted to aim for. So yeah, so let's get to it. I think we have we got our freaking production tab. Oh yeah, so it's a ZVZ, and the map is Fighting Spirit, I believe. So on the bottom left of the map, we have darkness, I guess. If we have SSG Drone as the teals, or colors. All that jazz, sending their overlord up to the north side, and so is his opponent, ZXZC, as the blue Zerg on the bottom right. Now, ZVZ is a cast, or a matchup that I have not casted too terribly much. Yeah, that was proper grammar. So it'd be interesting to see what the play style is. I have to imagine it's a lot of Zerglings early on, and just trying to get map control. Oh, actually, last time I recall, it wasn't that many bases. They don't get that many bases. Zerg does not get that many bases. How many times can I say that? But yeah, let's see what we got. So I think we went... Yeah, so we went spawning pool extractor first before hatchery. I think that's pretty standard, actually, for Zerg in general. So might be going for that. And I think actually, wow, we actually have hatch first from ZXZC. That is really greedy for a mirror matchup. And we'll see how that ends up panning out for them and how they may react, because Drone could just get lings right now, which he's doing. He's getting 3 batches of lings. And I think that was... No, that wasn't a 6 pool. It was a 6 pool, I mean, it's 6 drones, but then 3 on gas. And as you can see, just like in StarCraft 2, taking off the drones off of gas. Actually, he only took 1 off, so that's interesting. But getting metabolic boost, and we do have a set of lings coming out, 6 lings coming out. And the spawning pool halfway done for ZXZC. But we'll see if it'll be enough time to get those lings out. Extractor is done. Gonna throw in some of those drones in there. And the saving grace is SSG does not know where his opponent is, because they could spawn up here or up here. He knows for sure that it's not going to be here. Hasn't seen anything else. So as soon as the lings go up to the top right, he will automatically know where his opponent is, which will be across the map. And once he sees, yep, he does see the Overlord there, and he is beelining it straight for ZXC's base is a base. So we do have a creep colony going down. Do we have links being produced? There's a set of drones, not a single bit of links. Okay, one set of links are being produced. Drones are being pulled off the line to try to defend against us, but more links are on the way. Sunken colony being morphed at this time, but there's simply just too many links. And this is just not a good situation for ZXC at this time, and just a straight up leave game. So very quick game for the first game. Let's go into the next one. Yeah, that was I was pretty greedy on ZXC's part. If he was able to pull that off, I'm not sure what the benefits of that would be. It would be in a mirror matchup, but there would definitely be an economic advantage for ZXC. But he just calls it quits once he sees that. Once he sees the set of links from their opponent, be interesting to see what would have happened if that sunken colony was a little bit sooner. Would have probably defended that easily, and the game probably would have been dragged out even longer. So, yeah, let's go to the next one. So we have Neosylphoid. We have, gosh, the names on this one are a little incomprehensible because they're just numbers. So on the top side of the map, Neosylphoid, we have 252, 34, 234, 236, 7474. And I'm just going to refer to them as Protoss for the rest of the cast. And they are orange. And on the bottom left, we have 123, 1222, 134, 11515 as the green? Yeah, olive? I don't know. Green Terran, bottom left, Neosylphoid. So there you go. We've casted on this map before, and I'm not actually. What I haven't been doing has been revealing the entire map, so we could actually analyze the map and do things. That's kind of crazy. So the natural looks like it's pretty easily obtainable. Looks like we actually have 2 choke points that that our players can use. This one looks like it could fit maybe a pylon here. This one looks like it could fit maybe 2 barracks, maybe even 4 barracks, honestly. What is it? Borks, is that? Borks? Yeah, Borks. Borks. So it looks like 3, I think. 3 barracks is my best guess. So, yeah, PvT. Typically, we're going to see mech from the Terran player versus the Protoss. Protoss tends to get Dragoons and tends to try to outmaneuver their opponent because mech is mobile, but not as mobile as Bio, for sure. So Protoss tries to take advantage of that by performing a bunch of guerrilla tactics in the exterior bases and whenever the Terran is out of position. So positioning is probably going to be key for Terran here. Absolutely. Barracks under control, under construction, refinery under construction. And Protoss looks like they are going, yep, gas gateway. Things are looking pretty standard. Oh, did I actually misread the natural? Oh, this is actually an interesting base. Covered by some decals, some walls here. So a long distance needs to be taken to take this base. So both players will probably fight over this eventually. But yeah, Protoss has the same situation here. Natural with the 2 chokes. So this map may be advantageous if there was Zerg on this map. Zealot is being sent out to try to take care of the scouting SCV. Terran knows where his opponent is at this time. Factory going down, not skipping a beat. And we'll probably see a scouting barracks as well. Typically when Terran goes mech, we see the hilarious scouting barracks in the sky, which will be fun to see. Cybernetics core being complete as well. We don't see a natural expansion. They can't afford it at this time. Protoss doesn't have enough minerals. And Terran isn't getting their natural either. So both players economically are even. We actually do have an energy bay block. This is actually pretty sick to see. And we'll see how Terran or Protoss responds to this. Has a Dragoon coming out. Zealot being sent out on the field. Kills the Marine and actually doesn't really have a lot to defend. The Zealot doing quite a bit of damage. SCV and smartly Protoss pulling out. Cutting the losses. Just kidding. Going back into the fight. Let's see if they could kill this Marine. But no. The luck on this SCV. Does the Zealot get it? Kills the Marine. Kills kills an SCV-2. Tons of damage being done with this 1 HP Zealot. Does die. Lots of damage being done, but the NGB does get complete over at Protoss' natural, so they will not be able to get a base anytime soon. But the damage done from that Zealot was pretty substantial this early on in the game. If I am not mistaken, NG base can also lift up in SC1, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. Probe being sent out to try to do a little bit of tickle damage on that engineering bay as well. Terran looks like they're about to get their natural expansion up at this point. Bunker is complete, so any other attack, any other tomfoolery from Protoss is going to be quickly thwarted for sure. NG Bay is going down pretty soon. Not quite enough minerals for a natural at this time, but we do have a singularity charge, so that increases the Dragoon attack range for those that don't know. And we have robotics bay being complete, so we'll probably see some Reavers, possibly some dropship. Are they called drop? Shuttle. That's right. Shuttle drops with the Reavers do quite a bit of damage. See how Terran responds as well, how they're going to add some pressure. We do have some vultures coming on the field and spider mines being researched, so we'll see some vultures. May even see some run-bys, which will be quite annoying for the Protoss to deal with. Another scouting SCV in the main base. We'll see how much information they could gather. I do say the robotics bay, but that is fairly typical for Protoss, so nothing terribly out of the ordinary. It would be more out of the ordinary if they saw possibly some Templar Archives. And actually, we do have some Dragoons applying some pressure, and unfortunately, those Marines do not have that range upgrade, so the Marines are not able to get those Dragoons. But these SCVs are chilling and going to be perpetually repairing that bunker. And as you can see, the HP is stabilizing right there. Command center is almost complete for the Terran player. We have a transfer of probes at the natural to Protoss. And we have some spider mines cutting off reinforcements smartly in case Protoss were to send some. But it looks like Protoss is positioning their units quite effectively, pulling the Dragoons back, try to thwart those vultures from doing run-bys. Only one vulture on the field at this time. Siege tank is out in the field, but I don't think siege upgrade is complete. I guarantee it's probably going to be researched relatively soon. We'll keep an eye out for that. And we actually have an armory. We have another engineering bay being constructed because, as we saw earlier, the engineering bay did get destroyed. So, engineering bay. Wonder what that would be for, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that opens up other tech that I'm not familiar with, but hey, there you go. Yep, and there you go. Engineering bays can lift up in StarCraft 1. Cannot do that in StarCraft 2. We have an observer on the field, which will be quite useful for those spider mines. It looks like Protoss is actually grabbing a quick third base as well. In a relatively safe position, also positioning their Dragoons over there to thwart any other attacks. Still one Vulture on the field. 2 siege tanks. I believe siege tank is being researched right now. Yep, it is almost complete. Lots of siege tanks. Terran playing a little conservatively, staying back, turtling a little bit. Protoss also playing for the economic game, it seems. We'll see what they end up teching into. We do have a shuttle being, warped in? Technically, warped in. And we do have that robotic support bay. We actually have shuttle movement speed. So that is pretty interesting. That gives those shuttles even more mobility for those Reavers. I actually didn't think about that. That is pretty big brain. That seems highly important. I also like the wall off here as well. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We had some Dragoons that just pushed right past to the siege tanks. It looks like they destroyed the other siege tanks and actually straight up killing the Terran opponent. Wow, I'm sorry I missed that. I was too focused on this pretty sick wall off with the Pylon Bay there. But wow, Protoss actually just takes the game, moves past the bunker. Once the siege tanks are done, Terran doesn't really have anything else to defend, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's it for that game. A quick set of games so far. Quick 2 games. But we'll see what the other games entail, because because I ordered them by time, so it's gonna be shortest to largest. So I'm acting like I'm almost surprised these games are so short, and but I know I know. Anyways, what was this map? I forgot what the map was called. Actually, let's take a look. I am so unprofessional right now. I apologize. Let's take a look. I actually want to know what the map is. It was... Let's take a look here, huh? Vermeer. Okay, so it's Vermeer, and it's more incomprehensible names. Got it. Okay, so we have on the top right of Vermeer, reveal the entire map. Top right of Vermeer, we have DLWNDMLXZ, or the purple Zerg. And we have some Korean here, very cool. And the bottom right, we have AASD11ASDASL. So definitely some either randomly generated names or someone just smashed their whole freaking face into their keyboard to make their username. Either way, hilarious usernames. Bottom right, we have yellow Zerg. So it's a ZVZ on the map Vermeer. As we saw with the first ZVZ game of the day, it was a hatch first, which is pretty greedy in a mirror matchup because it seems like a majority of the time Zerg is going to go for that spawning pool first, which entails lings being produced. And as we all know, lings are fast and they do a bunch of damage. So if you have nothing to defend against that, that is no bueno, as they say in Korea. Oh yeah, this is the map with the like the AMD symbol or whatever, or the NVIDIA symbol in the center. I don't know. It looks like the NVIDIA symbol. It's probably not intentional, but yeah. We actually have extractor first, so that's interesting. Do we see the same for up? Yep. Okay, so it looks like relatively the same time. So I don't think we see a spawning pool. Here we go. We do see a spawning pool. It's just a little delayed. So, interestingly enough, we have Purple Zerg going for a simultaneous extractor spawning pool. I wonder if that cuts drones. I feel like it does. Because in StarCraft, you want to just keep producing drones until you're fully saturated with your minerals and your gas. And this early on, that difference can make all the difference. So... spawning pool is halfway done for our yellow Zerg, and we'll see what our players end up doing. Will they go for some Zergling harass before even getting a hatchery? Or will they go just safe and get a hatchery as well? We shall see, said the blind man as he picked up his hammer and saw Overlord being pushed to the left. So I think we'll see if the each player ends up understanding where they are. We actually have some early layers. Wow. One base layer? What? That's cool. All right. So we got some Zerglings being produced as well. Purple is sending out those Zerglings. Yellow is also Yellow is also getting Zerglings out. So both players truly being a mirror matchup right now. Almost like the acting class exercise where you mirror your classmate. Same thing's happening here with Zerg and Zerg right now. I'm sure that'll change as the game progresses as well. So, one base layer, I have to imagine Mutalisk. Seems like the best option. Zerg tends to be highly mobile, and when you're facing another Zerg, you want to match that mobility, is my first guess. Could be totally wrong, but we'll see. Layer is complete. We have another hatchery. So you actually have a macro hatchery and a spire going down. Okay, so the mirror matchup is no more. Both classmates have decided to go their own way and do what they want. Is this metabolic boost? I think it was. So metabolic boost just got researched, I believe. Yes, it did. So lots of Zerglings being pushed, but not a lot of activity going on with them, which is interesting to see. Yellow's pushing out. Looks like these Zerglings are just here for defense, so maybe both players are just anticipating some kind of attack. They're shell-shocked from all the ZVZ games they've played. But Purple does have a larger amount. So we'll see how Yellow responds. I think we do have a creep colony, so that'll probably turn into a sunken colony. We have an engagement here. Zergling smartly being positioned on the ramp, but it is slightly open. Hold position. Looks like is about to be commenced here from Yellow. But there's simply not enough Zerglings. But a great position, actually evening out the tide. Lots of Zerglings being pushed out, drones being pulled off the line, and some Zerglings to defend. We do have a sunken colony is complete, so this base is actually nicely secured. Spire is over halfway done. Sunken colony just barely able to hit those Zerglings. So yellow is in a great position. Spire is already done for purple, and we do have 2 Mutalisks being produced at this time. Lots of dancing being complete. I don't think these Zerglings have metabolic boost, actually, so it looks like the gas is being saved for that Spire. Zerglings pushing out. Creep. Lots of creep. I was about to say there's a creep bonus. Sunken Colony going in. Zerglings going straight for some drone kills. They are only going to get 1. So not a terribly effective push. Mutalisks are on the field, but we don't see any anti-air. This is actually pretty big. Overlord's being produced. Scourge being produced, actually. So 2 Scourge will come out, and we'll see if these can connect. We actually have 4 Scourge. My apologies. We'll see if the Mutalisks do get destroyed. Yellow sending out their Zerglings. Again, both players don't have another base. This is all one base. Actually kind of bonkers. We have 3 Mutalisks on the field to try to thwart this. And the Scourge do connect a little bit. Huge damage on those Mutalisks. But they are still up and ready to fight. And yellow smartly pulling away. Knows that they cannot defend this. Or cannot attack and do that much damage. Scourge still in a optimal position. I think Scourges did get focused down. We still have 3 Mutalisks. That other Mutalisk is bleeding badly. Not doing too hot. So we have some more Scourge. We have some Mutalisks on the field as well for yellow now to match their opponent. Scourge, Zergling did get focused down. My apologies. Looks like yellow's kind of contemplating seeing if they could go in. There he is going to go in. Yellow's going in. We'll see. No, okay. Little hesitation. Well, yeah. Looks like they're kind of on patrol a little bit just to see if their opponent will do that. We'll send their Mutalisks out. Again, both players do not have another base. We have 4 more Scourge back at the home base of yellow. And tension is high right now. We'll see what they end up doing. Oh, Scourges are moving out. Doing some damage. I don't think killing any of the... Yeah, not killing any of the Mutalisks. Just heavily damaging them. We actually have a creep colony going down. I think it is mutating into a spore colony. And there's actually a low drone count for purple here, which could prove highly detrimental. Only 5 drones on the mineral line. Yellow has full saturation, so their economy is already better in that regard, which explains why they have so many more units right now. Yellow definitely advantageous right now. Mutalisks moving out. Scourges. Oh my gosh, this is a really bad position for the purple. Oh my god. Scourges are moving out. We'll see if they connect. And they do. This actually might just be game for purple at this time. Mutalisk count is really high. I actually cannot tell what's going on. Scourges, but coming from downtown, doing a bunch of damage. Purple has some Scourges on the field too. Nice connections. A little bit of a chase here, a little bit of a Scooby-Doo chase going on. And purple loses all of their flying units, and that is going to be GG for our purple Zerg. So that was another interesting ZVZ game to watch. I wonder if all ZVZ games are like that, or it's just mayhem. It just seems like that's the case. It's the same thing for 2. You never really know, but at least in 2, there's a whatchamacallit, a set meta. It seems like ZVZ and SC1 right now is like the Wild West. But let's go into the 4th game, Eclipse 1.2. And we have our boys ZXZC and in this game. Let's go and reveal the entire map. Again, it is Eclipse top right. We have ZXZ, a teal Zerg. Bottom left, yellow, Terran, Weir. So, we've casted Eclipse before. Let's take a look at the map. Looks like we have an easy natural expansion to secure. Typically, these maps will have an easy natural expansion to secure. Probably, I probably don't even have to mention it at this point. Ah, yes. Okay, I do remember this map. So, somewhat difficult third base to hold in terms of holding it. That makes sense. And the 4th is even more difficult to secure because it's a little more exposed. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are less bases on this map than other maps. So we'll see a lot of fighting over control of that economy. We actually have some kind of constricted movement areas around here. A little bit open here, which will be nice for Zerg. Lots of flanking routes, too. So Zerg can easily go around, do a bunch of sandwiches. And I'm trying to remember what TVZ entails. I believe it's Bio for Terran. Bio, Siege Tank. I believe it's Mutalisk for Zerg. Right off the top of my head. And actually, Terran going straight up for a wall off right at the ramp instead of the top here. You don't really see a lot of wall offs at the top there. So this could just be standard, and I'm just talking out my butt right now. So barracks is being constructed. And the interesting thing is that this barracks, I believe... Wait, you don't really need add-ons for barracks in this game. That's right. So, but we may see a complete wall off for our Terran opponent, or Terran player, I shouldn't say opponent. And for our Zerg opponent, no. Okay, so we have spawning pool extractors, so we're not going hatch first. Pretty standard stuff for Zerg. And we have 300 minerals, and there it is. We have a scouting SCV moving up just to see if Zerg's doing any one-base tomfoolery. Sees the natural. It's like, nope, we're good. We actually have, yep, some more drones. We don't see any lings being produced. And there it is. We see one ling being produced, so we're going to see some scouting. And actually, what I do notice from Zerg in TVZ, they typically, their initial set of lings will just postulate outside of the Terran base, just to scout any move-outs. And once they see maybe a Terran move-out of medics and marines, they could pull back and prepare accordingly, instead of just having their lings back here and not knowing anything at all. So a lot of that has to do with just map control. No gas at all from our Terran. I believe that is pretty standard. Don't really need gas this early on, because minerals, you could just make marines and bunkers. So there you go. Natural being completed, constructed for Terran right now. Zerg is going to try to take care of this SCV, the scouting SCV. Doesn't see anything terribly out of the ordinary. I believe they do see, they definitely see it now, the mutating lair. So we are going to see some early Mutalisk. Will Terran respond with some engineering bay, constructing some engineering bays? Looks like, oh, I thought that was going to be it. I guess not. So engineering bays to try to build some missile turrets to try to thwart that. We actually have kind of an oversaturation at the main base of Terran, which naturally will be used to transfer, I believe, once this command center is done, which it is almost done. This SCV is still alive, surprisingly. That is some crazy value coming out of that 50 minerals. And there it goes. Lots of scouting information. Does see the spire. Terran knows what's up. Will plan accordingly. We have an academy going down. No engineering bay in sight. Maybe there is no rush to do so. Maybe Terran is confident in their unit positioning and micro to thwart these Mutalisks. We'll certainly see. Maybe it's just part of their build. Well, we will find out. Third going down for Zerg at this location. And Ling's being pushed out as well. Again, postulating right outside Terran base. No bunker at all. Quite a handful of Marines, actually. If Zerg is able to see this, that is some key information that they can take away. Engineering bay is almost halfway done as the spire is about to be complete. It almost feels like Terran is perfectly timing their missile turrets. Got some chat going on. I wish I could read that. I could read the question mark. The question marks. They're asking a lot of questions. So there you go. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so extractor being complete at the natural for Zerg as well. Don't see any evolution chamber for upgrades. Probably pulling the resources for the Mutalisk makes sense. We have 2 Mutalisks moving out on the field, 3 total. And I do want to note the Overlord positioning here to try to just scout for any third bases that Terran may secretly make. Ninja bases, as they're called, last time I recall. 5 Mutalisks actually on the field. Missile turret is in place perfectly. 2 missile turrets to be exact. It looks like Zerg is going to just try to poke and prod a little bit. Missile turret just right in the perfect range. And this is quite an annoying position for Terran to be in. We'll see if the supply depot does get focused down. We do have an SCV being forced off of the mineral line to try to repair that. And some Marines actually being researched too. The glaive worm bounce. And maybe wise to just sack the supply depot and build 2 more. Seems like it's going to go down. Just this positioning from the Mutalisk is damn near perfect. Unable to be, unable to be stopped. The supply depot does go down. We have 1 supply depot being complete. We have some upgrades being researched at this time. The thing I like about Zerg's play right now is they are buying themselves lots of time to secure this 3rd base. Mutalisk moving into the main base, but Terran in a really good, solid position in terms of defense. We actually have the Marine range upgrade being constructed at this time. And we have a hive going down as well for Zerg. So we'll probably see some Guardians at some point. Or Ultralists. That tends to be the end game Zerg tactic. We'll also see if Zerg goes for a 4th. Again, bases in StarCraft Brood War tend not to be as important to get as SC2 and my experience of casting these games. Not sure why that is. Maybe it's because of the 1 gas factor. Maybe it's because of the lower amount of bases on this map and focusing more attention on just attacking and getting more units, pulling those resources for that instead of just solely focusing on economy or solely focusing on aggression. Large bio count, actually, from Terran. Mutalisk are actually not in a great position, and I think just badly damages them. Doesn't kill any of the Mutalisks. It seems like Mutalisks are quite tanky in StarCraft 1 as compared to 2. But Mutalisks are still alive. We have a Queen's Nest right at the front, and we have a bunch of creep colonies being morphed in for Zerg. Going to change into sunken colonies. Looks like we have 2 in the 3rd base. We'll see if Terran goes for a 3rd base. Quite a bit of oversaturation and unit collision due to these missile turrets, but you want to weigh your options. Do you want a delayed economy, or do you want no economy at all due to the lost SCVs? Medics being focused down, the glaive worm bounce being utilized quite greatly. And as you can see, we have the Mutalisk group tech. What is it? Group technique. Most likely these are hotkeyed with an overlord on somewhere on the other side of the map, and that is able to make the Mutalisk turn into this single ball. And that is so that Marines cannot focus fire the Mutalisk as easily, since they're all clumped into this little ball. Zerg is just kind of poking and prodding a little bit, seeing where their opponent is. Terran's trying to make something happen here. At this point, I believe Terran is trying to secure a 3rd base by trying to position their troops out. Try to apply some presence. We actually have a lone Marine up here scouting for any other bases as well. Evo Chambers making some upgrades. And actually, we do have a double Ultralisk Cavern. That is wacky to see. I normally don't see that. Of course, I haven't casted a game where there have been Ultralisk Caverns. Missile turrets being fired. Where were they fired? Oh, they were fired over here in the main base. Zerg really abusing the terrain, since land units can't really hop over and shoot. So the mobility of these Mutalisks truly being represented here, and the SCV constructing the supply depot. Oh, barely too, by the way. We have a stim going down for the Marines, and we have a science vessel, and the supply depot does get focused down, and these Marines are actually getting focused down. And the science vessel, this is actually, well, it's good. Moving the science vessel away. Irradiate is halfway research. Lots of things going on right now. Mutalisk focusing down the SCVs, constructing the barracks and the supply depot. Marines stimming, thwarting that attack, and smartly positioning Terran, actually kind of catching some of the Mutalisks. Mutalisks are actually kind of trapped right now. They are forced to go past this valley of missile turrets right now. Lots of damage being done. Only 4 Mutalisks remaining. But if they could get these... Oh, wow, there's actually 2. And a Radiate going down on the Mutalisk. And The Mutalisks are completely destroyed right now. And Terran not skipping a beat. It looks like they are going to move out, perhaps. The pressure is going down. The pressure is done for Zerg because, you know, those Mutalisks were providing time for these Ultralisks and other bases to be constructed. Oh, okay, just 3 bases still, but they have a heavy Ultralisk count at this time. But the Mutalisk threat is gone. And it looks like Zerg is not opting to create any more Mutalisks. It looks like they're not really going to go for Guardians right now. Ultralisk kind of positioning around. They're postulating their forces. Moving back to the 3rd base. Again, large bio ball. Both players seem hesitant to attack this time. They actually have a large mineral count going down. We'll see what it just plopped down. More Ultralisks. And a Defiler mound. So we'll see some Dark Clouds. Dark Cloud Ultralisk seems like a highly effective tactic versus Terran, considering ranged. For those of you that don't know, Dark Cloud makes melee units invulnerable to ranged attacks. So there you go. They can only be killed by splash and stuff. And Ultralisks are positioning huge amount. And these Marines are exposed. Stim going down. We do have some Science Vessels Radiate going down on the 2 Ultralisks. We'll see who ends up coming on top. These Ultralisks are just beefy boys. It looks like Terran actually just has too many forces to stop that. These Ultralisks on their own are not going to be terribly effective. So we may need to see some links. We do have some Zerglings going down. Do we have Cracklings being researched? No, we have Consumed for the Defilers. More Zerglings. We have Defilers being researched as well. Marines are moving out. A Radiate going down on that 1 Ultralisk. And I think that is the last Ultralisk. It's like the last Buffalo. Oh, too soon. All right, so Ultralisk is being killed as well. I don't know how Zerg is going to defend this. We have lots of sunken colonies, though. But the Marine medic count is simply too damn high. Sunken colonies are doing a lot of damage. Zerglings are being produced. Here's our Defiler. Doesn't have enough energy for anything. It's almost dead. I think this maybe lights out. Dark Cloud is down. Which makes these Zerglings invulnerable under that Dark Cloud. Another Dark Cloud glowing down. Will this be enough to make the difference? Another Dark Cloud going down. Absolutely ensuring that those Zerglings cannot die. The Zergling is right outside of the cloud. Terran is repositioning. Another Dark Cloud over here. And Zerg is holding right now. But more reinforcements are being sent for Terran. Terran is repositioning over the mineral line. We'll see if it's able to make the difference. These Dark Clouds making a massive difference. Medics healing each other. That one medic was just spinning around. Another Dark Cloud is going down. We do have the Science Vessels. They don't have enough energy for anything, I believe. Yep. Drones being repositioned, but again, more Terran reinforcements. Terran can just keep doing this all day until they slowly whittle down their opponent. We have another Dark Cloud. We have an Ultralisk actually on the field, so neck and neck right now. This is Zerg's probably last defense. I don't know if fighting outside of the Dark Cloud is terribly smart, but I mean, it's kind of working. These Ultralisks are pretty damn tanky. Actually cleaning up the Terran forces. Again, Terran does have more reinforcements, but the damage... There was a lot of damage that was done on Zerg, despite that. But Zerg's not skipping a beat. They gotta move out. Terran actually is not in a great position right now. There are also Science Vessels. I believe they're about to have energy for another ability. Firebats are on the field. Ultralisk moving out. These Marines and Firebats, this Bioball is kind of in a bad position. Focus firing on the Ultralisk. Ultralisk does go down. Zerglings do die. But there are more forces up here. And actually a secret fourth base for Zerg. It looks like Terran was trying to secure a fourth base, really. But they were really securing a third base. Was that a smokescreen? Was that a big brain tactic for trying to stop that? I guess we'll never know. For sure, anyways. We have a nice transfer for SCVs over here. Again, Terran is able to replenish their forces. But so is Zerg. I think Terran maybe be too overzealous. Once they saw the Dark Clouds, they probably should just went for the third and attacked that. Because Zerg is still able to get an economy from this third base that was practically unscathed. I didn't see it was attacked at all. I could be wrong. Could have missed it because there's so much focus on over here on the natural. Again, more sunken colonies being morphed in and defilers. But the bio ball is still getting larger for Terran. And once Terran secures this third base, which it looks like they have, their economy is going to be fairly even to their Zerg opponent. We have ourselves a game for sure here. Looks like Terran is going to try to attack that third of Zerg. Oh, looks like Science Vessel is kind of out of position. Dark Clouds being interestingly put down already. And pre-anticipating if Terran's going to attack that natural. It looks like there was a Radiate that was put onto that Defiler. Does kill the Defiler, so that's a lot of money and a lot of energy that was slowly gained over time that was lost just now. Terran right now playing pretty smart. Going straight for the third. We have some sunken colonies. The key for Terran right now is probably to get right up that ramp, but Zerg could easily flank as well. Terran not skipping a beat, going straight for the sunken colonies. And we'll see if this third base does die. It probably will. Zerg going for a counterattack. Does Terran have enough to defend? We have some science vessels, some marines. Zerg actually going for the third base. Smartly, though, Terran has some bunkers. And a supply depot, unfortunately, is not repairing that bunker. But that is okay, because they are probably microing up here. We have a dark cloud going down at the third base here. I laugh because I'm just thinking about Artosis's reaction to dark cloud. It's the opposite of happy for sure. Ultralus being sent out. We have 4. Still a big bio ball for Terran. Focus fire is real, but these Ultralus are beefy, boys. And this dark cloud making a huge difference. And the third base being killed for Terran. A Radiate being used on that Ultralus. But this main bio ball for Terran over here, you know, is completely decimated. And the fourth base is fully saturated, it seems, for Zerg. Zerg's in a pretty good position. So talk about a change of pace. That dark cloud, man, making a massive difference. The Radiate's going down on the Ultralus right now. And simply, Terran is just losing forces. Has some at the natural base. Radiate is done. It has been casted on the Ultras as well. Does it die? It does. But Terran still has their third. So not out of this yet, but these Ultralus are pretty beefy. I mean, they have 5-2 upgrades because I think, yeah, also Ultralus have the extra 2 armor upgrade. So that just makes Ultralus even more tanky as opposed to StarCraft 2, which doesn't have that research ability at all. And that other Ultralus not carrying at all, just going to go straight for the mineral line. Radiate does go down on it. Radiate making a massive difference in trying to mitigate that extra tankiness, and the Ultralus still doing a bunch of damage. I feel the frustration for the Terran right now. And that just sucks, man. I'm sorry. But Zerg, I bet, is happy right now. Just ha-ha-ha, doing a bunch of damage. SV's being transferred over to the third base. We have some more. So just Zerg just sticking to their guns. Ultralus and Zerglings. If it works, why change it? And Defilers, of course. We have kind of a heavy science vessel count. There is a Scourge coming out on the field. Does destroy one of the science vessels. I think that science vessel had a lot of energy. A Radiate going down on the Ultralus. We'll see if there's enough energy. And it looks like Irrrr calls it quits and is like, nope. You are doing a lot of damage, and I can't sustain anymore. So that was a great game. What a comeback from Zerg. Again, those dark clouds making the difference. I think that's just a difficult position for Terran to be in. Like I said before, I think the strat is once Zerg throws down like 4 dark clouds, like we saw, we just pull away and we just go for those exterior bases because Zerg was choking right there, or not choking in that sense, but like they were feeling the pressure. They were about to die, and those dark clouds just simply made a massive difference. I don't know why I left there, left the replays, but that's okay. So let's go into our final game. It's our boy ZXZC that we saw from last. I think we've casted a lot of their games today. Yeah, we've casted 2 other ones as well. So this person is quite active in Brood War, it seems. We will go into a PvZ. We have Star versus them. I'm just gonna take a sip of water right quick. Ah, man, casting this much makes your lip thirsty. So it's gonna be Eclipse. It's gonna be Star versus ZXCC, which is on the map. Yep, I said Eclipse already. And it is a PvZ. So at the top right, we have, wow, actually the same position as last game, ZXZC as the brown Zerg, and then the bottom left we have Starve as the yellow Protoss. So we have some banter being sent out as well, which is kind of cool to see. I can't read it. Oh, I could read the E and the semicolons. Yeah, so I am included for sure. But so yeah, same map. I'm trying to think what is PvZ again. I believe, yes, that's right, PvZ. Zealots, Corsairs into High Templars. I believe into Carriers eventually is usually the Protoss strat. Zerg tends to go for Zerglings or Mutilas, as well as Lurkers. That's right, yeah. So we'll see if both players end up following that meta or doing something completely different. That will be fun to see. And I have to imagine late game gets kind of crazy for PvZ because just the distance between these bases are quite vast, it seems. We have a scouting probe actually coming out on the field, and we actually already have a wall off. Again, no Forge Fast Expand. I think I'm just stuck in the past because I was watching like Bisu play, and he would always go like Forge Fast Expand every game. I think other Protosses did, but that was like 10 plus years ago. Times have changed for sure, because Gateway expands seem to be the meta right now. Seems safer too. You could tech a lot faster. Yeah. We have a spawning pool going down. No need for gas at this time. So it looks like spawning pool hatchery seems to be the strat. Actually, no, we have 3 Zerglings being produced right now. This isn't a 6 pool, but it is early aggression with Zerglings. Will Protoss have enough to defend? We have a Zealot coming out. Does Protoss even know? I think. Yeah, or sorry. Wait, yeah. Yeah, Protoss is, oh wait. I was looking at, hold on. There we go. I think Protoss did see that, so we'll see how they end up defending versus this. Does have a forge going down. No Nexus at this time. Hatchery is being constructed right now, and the Lings are moving out. Where are they? They're there. All right, the Lings are right here. Not fully committing to this. Zerg knows that Protoss knows that they have Lings, so they're going to smartly pull away. Why lose Zerglings if you don't have to? I agree with that statement. So they're just going to pull back, secure their base, and that was actually really smart from Zerg because they really just forced their opponent to be defensive and get this forge, delaying that Nexus. So kind of playing their opponent right now. A little bit of poker, a little bit of Texas Hold'em going on right now, which is kind of cool. Which kind of makes sense why a lot of StarCraft players tend to move over to poker, because it has some similar elements. Another scouting probe sees the Lings, and he's like, okay, good day, and goodbye. And he dies. Metabolic boost being researched right now. And doing the gas pull trick that we see in both games, actually, where you just get enough gas for your metabolic boost, the Zergling speed upgrade, pull them off one at a time. I think it starts, yeah, 92, then 94, then 96. You pull them off. Or wait, no, that doesn't make sense. So it'd be 94, 96. No, it'd be 96. I don't know. Anyways, you gradually pull off your drones one at a time. until you get exactly 100 gas for that metabolic boost. Classic strategy. Nexus is halfway done for a Protoss player. I think he has cybernetics being warped in somewhere. There it is. Nope, photon cannon. Interesting. Not opting for that cybernetics core. I guess that makes sense. Focusing and pulling the resources for saturating the bases before teching. And we have that gas being completed as well. And I'm sure we'll see, yep, there's the cybernetics core. So yeah, just delaying tech a little bit. Actual fast third base from Zerg. Really taking advantage of that play early on. Even though there wasn't an actual fight that happened, still Zerg was able to make a massive impact with that early aggression with the Zerglings. We have 3 drones just chilling. Because unlike SC2, your rally points aren't different. Okay, so we actually, yeah, we have 2 zealots moving out, trying to do a bunch of damage. Fortunately, not really doing too much. Zerg only losing a couple links for that, so that was actually, again, another advantage going to the Zerg players. So Protoss not looking so good right now, but certainly not out of the game yet. We have a Stargate being warped in. Yeah, warped in. So there you go. And what was I talking about earlier? Yeah, so yeah, Zerg is in an advantageous position. Has the third base going down. We'll see what they end up going into. They do have that layer coming out in Evo Chamber, trying to get a head start on those upgrades. Protoss is able to get upgrades at this time, but they are probably focusing their resources on Corsairs once this Stargate gets complete, as we see with the economy right there. Drones moving out to the third. We have a little bit of a transfer. And looks like they're going for a carapace first. So going for the armor upgrades. Stuff is pretty standard. Actually, photon cannons being warped into the natural. Lots of photon cannons actually being warped in. Interesting. Really expecting some Mutalisk at this time, but Zerg isn't going for Mutalisk, so this is actually some wasted resources. And also, Protoss has the Corsair to thwart these Mutalisks, so I'm not sure if the photon cannons were that necessary right now. I wonder if Protoss is feeling a lot of pressure from that early game aggression. Do have the Spire mutating now. Zerg will eventually get Mutalisk, but Protoss is more than prepared, it seems, right now. Getting ground weapons and air weapons, so interesting. So we'll probably see some early carriers, or not early carriers, but we'll see some carriers eventually, since they're going into that air weapons upgrade. And obviously, it's going to help out the Corsairs as well. Corsair actually getting 1 kill. I believe that was an Overlord. See how much pressure and damage that they could do. Spore colonies are down. They are complete. And actually, the main base totally open. No spores there. No spores in the third either. Protoss is able to see it. Has 2 Corsairs on the field right now. And it looks like the Zealots are actually focusing the egg here, which will be good for trying to possibly get another pylon to fill that wall even more. We don't see any Mutalisk being morphed right now. And that is because Zerg saw, the photon cannons and the Corsairs, and it's like, why would I build them? Do have Scourge going out, which does make sense. Scourges are fast, mobile, able to try to counteract those Mutalisks, or not Mutalisks, sorry, Corsairs. And we actually do have Hydralisk, so muscular arguments. So we are going to see Zergling Hydralisk sort of build-esque. Well, I said esque in probably the totally wrong way. Yeah. And we'll definitely see some lurkers. Those are always fun to see. And we will see what upgrades do we have. We actually have melee and ranged being researched right now for Zerg. So that is interesting. Usually you go for 1. Actually, we have 3. Wait, no way. 3 Evo chambers? Where is that? Because I see Carapace. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that just missile attacks at the Hydralisk den? Or is that another Evo chamber? Let's see. Hold on. Okay, it's a Hydra. Okay, it's a Hydra upgrade. I thought for some reason he was going 3 evolution chambers. You don't typically see that. Lots of Corsairs. My goodness, 6 on the field. They really don't want air to be an issue. Zerg is like, okay, man, I'm not making air. It's okay. See if Protoss looks like they are postulating for a third. We see that third probe being moved out. We have enough minerals for it. Zerg is going straight for that probe, and the Zealots are actually out of position. The probe does get focused down, delaying that third. And we have another probe being sent out. We have Hydralisks and Lings trying to focus this little ball of Zealots. We'll see if the Zealots are able to stop them, but Zealots are pretty strong in a head-to-head fight. But Hydralisks cannot micro them. Zerg smartly pulling back to go to the reinforcements. Lots of Scourge on the field in response to those Corsairs. And they are just going to go right past the ground armory. They just say, hey, see you guys. Hydralisk microing. Able to shoot and scoot right now. And both players disengaging at this time. Part of securing that third base was delayed, but they are right back on track to get it. We'll see if Zerg ends up trying to get a fourth. I can't imagine that they would. But we'll see if they do. And Zerg is actually supply block. Corsairs coming from downtown to try to take care of some stray overlords. Sort of a large Hydralisk count moving out. Focus firing the Zealots. Does Protoss have enough? They actually have Reavers on the field, interestingly enough. I don't really see Reavers that much in PvZ. Nice connection with the Scarab. Another nice connection with the Scarab. Oh, man. Actually, some solid connections. And photon cannons are in the natural base and actually cleaning up the Zerg force all of a sudden. That's crazy. All of Zerg's ground forces have been destroyed. So that Reaver actually making kind of a big difference in a little bit of the Scarab bugging out there, which is a classic Reaver things in Brood War, from what I know. Apparently the Scarabs bug out a lot in this game, which is always fun to see. Just adds to the charm of how old this game is. Large Mutalisk count right now. Focus firing the Corsairs. Mutalisk count is simply too dang high. Zealots do have legs right now. They have the speed upgrade. And while Protoss is more than prepared, this Reaver's in kind of a rough position. If the Mutalisks decide to come here, they could focus fire that down right now. But I think that's just my anxiety kicking in for sure. Zealots moving out, trying to do some damage, but unfortunately they can't. And they're being totally bullied right here. So you're just going to try to clean them up. Again, lots of Zealots on the field. We have Psystorm almost being researched. I don't think we have any High Templar. We do have one. We do have one High Templar. It almost has enough energy for one Storm, but it does get focused down. And also that Reaver, like I said before, it just got focused down. So unfortunately, was killed for not doing any damage. Corsair count is being reduced. So is the Mutalisk count, actually. And another Corsair coming out on the field, focus firing as much as possible. And actually, they are going to be able to clean up these Mutalisks. And Zerg is just not caring anymore. He knows they're going to die, so he might as well fight and do some damage to the Corsairs. And the Mutalisk count does get cleaned out. Protoss slowly turning this game around. Again, like I said earlier, it was not a predetermined fate that they were, or not predetermined. It was determined fate that they were lost. You know, they still have a chance. And wow, 3 hatcheries at the 4th base. That's fun to see. They are still in this. They are still kicking. They're still thwarting the attacks. Actually going for 4th base. If Protoss can secure this, that is a solid income. That is some solid economy to build some carriers eventually, which I don't see on the horizon right now. I don't see a fleet bacon, but we'll see. We have every other tech building. We have Templar archives and stuff like that, but I'm sure we'll eventually get there. That seems to be late game classic Protoss' carriers and stuff. So it's moving out, doing a bunch of damage. I don't think we see any lurkers actually being morphed right now. So right now it's just Hydralisk, Mutalisk. Interesting combination. Zealots are chilling here. See how much damage they could do. The Zealot legs will make the difference here. But Zerg does have some nice upgrades. What are the upgrades? We only have 2 attack for the Protoss right now. And it's looking pretty close. Mutalisk gonna make the difference, but actually Protoss cleaning up a massive majority of those Hydralisks. Only 4 remaining. Oh, there's some more up here, actually. Ah, wait. Okay, never mind. There. Below my last. There's some more. So this 4th base is going to get focused down. Doesn't get canceled. Actually, wait. Did it get canceled? I think... No, it didn't, because there's the rubble. Protoss was not able to cancel that, losing 400 minerals right there. Not a good position for Protoss. Corsairs moving out to try to do some damage on the Overlords. Try to supply block. Is successful. But Zerg is able to reinforce and thwart and kill those Corsairs. They do get destroyed. The crazy amount of macro hatches up here is pretty funny to me. Saturation is beginning over there at the 4th. We have a High Templar. Almost has enough energy for a storm. 75 is the energy needed. This one already has one. This one is getting there. Hydralis. Some stray Hydralis trying to scout the force of Zerg. Or the force of Protoss. And we have some Dragoons actually on the field. Because why not? Dragoons are pretty cool, man. They do damage. And we have a Reaver on the field that's super slow, but does a bunch of damage, as we all know. But it does bug out, as we all know from what we saw earlier as well. So there you go. Zerg is postulating their forces near outside the 3rd base. Protoss is getting in a better position. We're about to see a huge size storm on the Hydralis count. Oh my god, another big size storm going down, doing quite a bit of damage. Another size storm. We'll see how much damage the Reaver could do as well. Oh my god, dude. Freaking 6 Hydralis just died from 1 Scarab. Protoss doing some nice damage here. Still maintaining some of the forces, but actually there's a counterattack here. Still denying that 4th base. This is actually pretty pinnacle. This is pretty paramount for Zerg to do, is just to make sure Protoss does not get this 4th base. Denying the economy will just, over time, slowly increase the chances that Protoss will lose the game, obviously. You deny your opponent economy, right? So, but I just thought I'd notate that. So I'm sorry if I was being redundant. My bad, guys. All right. It looks like we have more forces being postulated over there. We'll see what Zerg ends up doing. I just heard an engagement somewhere. The reinforcements and the actual transfer of probes being focused down. A lot of them do manage to survive. Protoss is moving out. They have Dragoons. Dragoons are actually pretty mobile. They're pretty fast. But so are Zealots. But again, lots of engagements going down. And Zerg smartly cutting off the reinforcements, and that High Templar does get focused down. That was pretty expensive. We have another High Templar. Doesn't quite have enough for a storm, and it will probably get focused down. Actually, surprisingly, it still lives. God dang, that's pretty cool to see. High Templar is still alive, has 4 more energy. Zerg doing a fantastic job of just cutting off reinforcements, trying to keep Protoss on their toes, playing their opponent, if you will. Just like poker. Just like we discussed earlier. Anyways. Nipaa, you're weird. I know. I'm sorry, man. All right. 4th base. We'll see if it finally gets secured. It looks like it is and has some photon cannons. What we see a lot in PvZ is photon cannons being warped in at the exterior bases. So they're going to do a lot of damage to those Zealots there. And we actually see Zerg going straight for the natural expansion. We have a Psy Storm that did go down. Do we have enough for another one? We don't. We don't have enough. We don't have enough energy for another Psy Storm. Protoss being forced to split their units because Zerg is attacking in multiple places at once. We have Zerg attack on the 4th base, Zerg attack on the natural base, Dragoons, in kind of an interesting position. We don't have enough for a Psy Storm. This one about to be. We have 5 more energy. Will it be able to connect? There it is. We have the Psy Storm going down, and actually it was a really nice Psy Storm. Again, at the north base, these photon cannons making a massive difference in trying to stop the counterattacks, the multi-pronged attacks. Protoss is doing a nice job of splitting their forces, but slowly but surely, Protoss's forces are getting whittled down. So these photon cannons are really going to make or break. Are going to make a huge difference. More transfers for the probes. They are getting focused down. One probe does manage to get out. Nice Reaver connection with the Scarab. Nice Ice Storm connection. And we have another Scarab doing a massive amount of damage. Another Ice Storm going down. So Protoss is holding, but it just seems like the infinite flood of Zerg, of Hydralisk, are moving out. Scarab doesn't quite connect there, unfortunately. We have an Archon being morphed in. And unfortunately, I think this may be the end for our Protoss player. Zerg simply just has too many units, too much economy, and it's just doing a lot of damage. We have some Side Storms being put down. But for how long can Protoss hold? We'll certainly see. Reaver connection with the Scarab. We have another Scarab. Unfortunately, the Reaver does die. And that is going to be it for Starve. A valiant effort. Was able to hold on as long as possible and even had a chance to probably do some damage. But I just think Zerg was just simply keeping Protoss on their toes, keeping him on the defensive. And I think that's what you got to do as Zerg. I think that's the strat. Is just to keep your opponent defending all the time, you know. A good offense or a good defense is a good offense, you know, the classic saying and stuff. So, but ladies and gentlemen, others, that is going to be it for episode 2 of Nipaa's Castations. I want to thank you for those that were watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time.